Welcome to an all-new edition of the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. This week we look at the Week 8 results, see how the Pats and the Colts are doing as they head towards the playoffs, and try to figure out if there's anything that the Cowboys can do. Are they really just one player away, or are they just one owner away? This week on the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. Hey, Nick, how's it going?
Oh, it's going. This week looks like blowout fest on my end on the NFC East and the Colts all across the board. Looks like a blowout after blowout after blowout. So I got a bunch of boring games to cover, but we're gonna make it as exciting as possible, Rob.
Yeah, the game that we live streamed Sunday afternoon, the Cowboys and Broncos, ended up being one of the closer games of the whole weekend. And it wasn't that close. Probably the most exciting game involved the New York Jets, which we will get to. But you know what? It was we still had a winning week for the pod. We had a couple 3-0 weeks. Things were going good. Pod went 2-1 this week, and I don't know. Maybe we'll see if the ship can get righted as we go into it. We are just about at the halfway mark between this week and next week. Everyone will have at least 8 games played, with only at most 9 more to go. So MVP races are shaping up. Playoff races are shaping up. Draft order is starting to shape up.
Yeah, and that'll probably be what the Cowboys are going to relate to the most. And speaking of Cowboys, should we get straight into it, Rob?
Let's do it.
This is Eastside News.
Yes, let's kick it off quickly. Let's get the Cowboys out of the way, Rob. I want to go on my rant and then I'm done. Okay, a lot of complaining to do on mine. And the reason why I'm going to be complaining is the Cowboys lost 44-24 against the Denver Broncos over at Mile High. We still have not won there at Mile High since '92. Haven't even beaten the Denver Broncos since '95. Pretty crazy streak that's starting to build up over time. I mean, we only play them once every 8 years, but still, it seems like this is just not our place.
So that would be Aikman versus Elway was the last time.
Yeah, and it looks like Aikman had him that day, but Elway must have cursed us because we could not get it back. That's with Tony Romo, Dak Prescott. I don't know. After that, it's Quincy Carter, Drew Bledsoe, something. I don't know. But we have not won there in a long, long time. It's pretty crazy, but, we'll turn it around one day. It's just not going to be this year.
Can't say that yet. Well, I guess no. Yeah, about the Broncos. Yes, you're not going to turn that around about the Broncos, but not the whole year. The whole year is not lost, right?
No, I don't think the whole year's lost, but man, it just was not a good game. I mean, the offense on the Denver Broncos side pretty much got whatever they wanted. Bo Nix, who had a great game, as we saw, was throwing some serious completions, serious tough passes, and was 19 for 29, 247 yards, 4 touchdowns, only 1 pick. Started off super positive for the Cowboys, but then ended really poorly and degraded pretty quickly after that interception. J.K. Dobbins got 15 carries for 111 yards, averaged 7.4 yards a carry. But you're like, okay, J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins, he's a really respectable back. Why not? But R.J. Harvey got in there too and decided, hey, I want some of this action. Got 7 carries for 46 yards, averaging 6.6 yards a carry. So if you're collecting that right, that's, over 150 yards in rushing and almost 300 yards in passing. Pretty much, and the score is 44-24. pretty much told you pretty quickly that the Denver Broncos, whatever they wanted to do, they were just able to do it out there. And it was just an embarrassing effort, again, by this Dallas Cowboys defense, who is just frustrating me to holy hell and performing pretty bad. Dak Prescott didn't look too good himself. It was his first stinker game. I would say this is a stinker game where he was only 19 for 31, 188 yards, 2 interceptions, and no touchdowns. Not too good there. And then you got Javonte Williams over there with 13 carries, 41 yards, our lead back, who could not do anything as well. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, everything that you would want. Everyone that predicted the Dallas Cowboys to win this game was because of George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb just balling out. Actually had respectable games. They had both each 7 receptions, 70 yards for George Pickens, and CeeDee Lamb also had 74 yards. So, I mean, the run game wasn't there, and this is the second time this year where if the offense doesn't have the run game going and they're just relying on passing, it keeps that offense not being respectable. And one thing's for sure, if you are this Dallas Cowboys offense, you're not having an all-out game or doing really well. You find out pretty quickly that you're going to be falling behind quickly because this defense sucks. Doesn't matter who they play against. I don't care what your offense is. You should be able to get what you want on this defense.
Yeah.
And
you really should. I was going to say, you
ahead.
really should be able to get stuff. You should be able to make moves. The Broncos' young guns between Bo Nix being a second-year player, and then you look at R.J. Harvey and a couple of the other rookies, the fact that they are already producing at the level they're at, I guess Sean Payton knows what he's doing. They're drafting well, and they're primed to be the successors to the Chiefs in the NFC West. I don't think it's going to happen this year, but they're looking scary.
Yeah, and speaking of Sean Payton, he actually talked a little bit on the post-game show. And just to show you how much that the NFL is just not respecting this Cowboys defense, I want you to listen to this clip on how he was responding to game planning against the Cowboys and what he wanted out there.
Oh, no.
I didn't know how the game would unfold. I loved the fact that we took one of the top defenses in football against one of the best offenses, and we won. All right, on that side of it. And then the other side of it, it wasn't close. So I was proud of our defense. We challenged them like, hey, we'll get it.
Well, he's honest.
Very honest, and he had a lot of pointed things to say about it, too. That wasn't the only clip when it came to it, but Sean Payton was basically saying, offense, we'll get him. I'm not worried. One of the lines that he said in the postgame show was he needed the defense to keep up with the offense this game. And offense hasn't been super great the entire year. I mean, they've had good games and some bad ones, but he outright told them, our offense is going to get some. So defense, we need you to step up and beat the number one offense in the league right now, the Dallas Cowboys at the moment. And boy, they must have game planned pretty well because we were awful. And they had a really good defense against Dak. Definitely caused some confusion for him.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they were doing anything crazy, but they had Dak really pressing, and he was making – Dak doesn't usually make – at least this season. I know in the past, yeah, he's known for throwing a pick here and there. But this season, that hasn't been Dak. On Sunday, it was. Dak was just as much the reason the Cowboys lost as anything else, and he seemed like he was just trying so hard, and it just wasn't working.
Yeah, and I think part of that is when you have this terrible defense. I'm not going to apologize for Dak's performance. It was a bad performance overall, but when you have this defense, you know you have to score every single drive, and you're going to start gambling and doing some weird throws out there. Some of these interceptions, I mean, I don't even remember younger Dak throwing these things, especially the last one where it was heading to the ground and the linebacker picked it off, and I don't even know who he's going to. I thought it was tipped maybe. wasn't tipped. I don't know. It was just a weird performance, and I think Dak just felt the pressure that he had to because this defense just let him down, and he just felt like he had to go that extra level. And I'll tell you one thing. Another thing, Schottenheimer's had a pretty good coaching session, at least on the offensive side all year long. But he was driving me crazy on little things, playing way, way too safe when you have this terrible, terrible defense. You remember it on the live feed. There was this big 4th and 1, and granted, it was at the 30, and you were even making jokes, and I kind of maybe agree. I don't know. It would have been an 84-yard field goal.
I was only a little joking, but I mean...
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I was complaining for the fact that why aren't we just going for it? Because I know what they're going to do. And if you're going to have them score, you back. If you're going to have them score, then you might as well have it and score really quickly when the ball's on your side of the field and you don't get the 4th down, than punting it and making them kill the time and causing a lot of issues. Rob, are you there? You are there. Okay.
Yeah. You get a little skippy there for a second. It was one of our internets. But for me, like what I noticed early in the game, that they had fourth and goal from the 1. They were gonna go for it, and then they got the 5-yard penalty, and like, all right, let's kick the field goal. It's like, what are you doing? Your defense is not going to be performing well. It's early in the game. You can set the tone right here. And they chose not to. And then in the 4th quarter, like the game wasn't over technically. And they just kept punting.
It was so bizarre. There was just no need for it. I didn't even care if it was like late in the 3rd quarter. If it's 4th and 7 and less, you just go for it. Forget where the ball is on the field. It just doesn't matter because this defense is just awful. And one of the worst areas this defense plays at is specifically 3rd down conversions. And I know I haven't done this last week, but I do want to break down one play that I promised I would. I promised I would break this down in the live feed because it drove me so crazy right when I saw it. The game was pretty much over. They were driving the ball, and even if they kicked a field goal, it would have been game over anyway. But this is, again, and I've seen this time and time again, so I just wanted to point it out. 3rd and 10, they're up 20-17, the Denver Broncos are, and they're trying to get in scoring position or at least get a touchdown here. And this is the play right over here, okay? And this is what drives me nuts about this team, all right? They're playing stick defense, and if you don't know what stick defense is, it's basically I'm going to get all my defenders to cover this line right over here, the 1st down marker, okay? And Bo Nix, knowing, one, that they're playing zone, doesn't do a motion, doesn't do anything like that. He has no desire to because he's already got the play. He knows they're going to play zone. Hang
on. It's a surprise when the Cowboys play zone?
Yeah, that alone is bad, but you're not even like trying to mix it up by doing press, something, put a little pressure on them. And by the way, this play, it works for a lot of teams in the NFL. It's fine if you have the talent because you have the speed to actually cover this much of the field and usually will prevent a 1st down from happening. This is where Eberflus drives me nuts, though, is because, again, our guy, and I'm not trying to pick on him, but who else? Murray over here, the linebacker, is just
that 25?
Not meant to. No, that's 59. 59 right over there. 59 Murray is going to have to try to cover Ingram right over here. He knew the play before he even snapped the ball off, okay? And you're going to see him go back to the line, and he knew exactly what to do. I'm going to throw it to him just a little short and just make him make the play, all right? And this has happened time and time again this year, and he keeps going back to this, and I don't know why. But here's the play. Goes back, bang, bang. Murray cannot cover him. He just can't do it. He's not fast enough to step up and go get an interception. He's not going to be able to. You just don't have the talent, period, end of story. And when I say they don't have the talent, I'm not trying to say they're the worst talented defense in the league. I'm just trying to say that if your team is outmatched and struggling. You don't have a pass rush. Your linebackers are terrible. They can't stop the run, and your secondary is awful. The best thing you can do, the best strategy that you can implement is blitzing. Go crazy. Go ham. Play high risk. The big plays are going to come anyway, but that's not in Eberflus's DNA, and he's not going to do it any differently. And as long as Eberflus is here, this is going to be the same results that you're going to see time and time again. I really wish we would have hired Rex Ryan when we had the chance. I'm not the biggest fan of Rex Ryan per se. I think he's way too risky. But when you have an untalented defense like this, Rex Ryan can make them serviceable. He can make them
coach them up.
Okay. Yeah. And now we're running out of time because if you're going to implement someone like that in there, he has to re-gear it up and teach him kind of a complicated blitz packages out there. And the worst thing about it is the players think way too much on this defense, and you don't want your defenders thinking too much. You want them to get in the moment. Man-to-man's perfect for it. That you just focus on your guy, beat your man, attack him, and get whatever you need to get done. But
yeah,
I still hold true that I think that oh, go ahead, Rob.
Oh, no, I was going to say the reason why I asked if it was 25 is because at least 3 times during the game on Sunday, you look up and you see him doing this. He doesn't know where to go. And then he's frozen, and then a completion happens on someone he should have had.
Yeah. And James, he's no different in the linebacker position. I think when Overshown comes back, it's going to help out a little. But the big question that I keep hearing all throughout the year is who should we trade for to fix this defense? And I think we are so screwed up at all 3 levels that one
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, right. I don't even think Micah would make this a serviceable defense. I think he could bring him, just a little better. But I think you have so many holes in this defense, at least with this scheme, that you would have to overhaul everything and just bring in brand new blood to take over. My suggestion to Jerry would be fire Eberflus, find someone that's got a man-to-man scheme and can just get the players going. And that we have a guy that actually, the special teams coordinator, he used to be the defensive coordinator, not the best one for the 49ers, Nick Swartzen. He could easily step in that role, take over the defense, and just, I don't know, make it bottom third of the league, but not dead last. And the way Eberflus is running it, it's going to be that way. But when it comes to trading for players, if we're going to continue running this, there's no need. There's no need. It's not going to change. Not one defender is going to make a difference. You need at least 3 people in 3 different positions, cornerback, linebacker, and defensive line, or it's just not going to improve. But I don't know. I still think the Cowboys are in any game that they can be because that offense, I would still say, is potent, especially at home. I'm always nervous about Dak on the road, and especially in an outdoor environment. But we could beat anyone. We just can also lose to anyone too, and that's why we're probably going to go 8-1.
Yeah, and like as was mentioned in the live stream, Dak was probably still in shell shock from the 4th quarter of the Mississippi State-Texas game the day before. He was probably still very emotionally rattled by that, and that probably helped a lot.
Probably. I don't know. I'll tell you what, if we could blame it on that, that'll make me feel better because it was a bad performance, but I'm actually not that nervous about Dak, but the rest of it, ugly. So what you got, Rob? Anything better than that?
So over the AFC East, AFC East went undefeated this week. I don't think anyone had that on their bingo card. The AFC East went 4-0 this week. I'm going to start over with the Jets since we're going to actually mention Rex Ryan here as well. And, the one thing is I've seen a lot more and more national media are picking up on the Cowboys could really use someone like Rex Ryan. Connor Orr for Sports Illustrated even had an article about it. But where I'm bringing up Rex Ryan here is one of the core players on his Jets teams that did go to back-to-back AFC title games. Nick Mangold passed away this past week, which was pretty upsetting. He was only 41 years old. He was he was the center for their team back during the Ryan era, and he was a very good player. Passed away at age 41, so that was definitely a sad and emotional thing. And so that was pretty bad. And I mentioned Rex Ryan because he was actually, and we're going to talk a lot about emotions with the Jets, but he was pretty emotional, pretty much in tears on the pregame show, talking about what Mangold meant to him, the amount of effort that he put in. He goes, even in that last season, he's like, everyone knew it was being fired. I knew I was being fired. And Mangold was still saying he wanted to play for me. He was going to be playing hard for me, and he did. And he was a quality human being by all accounts. Yeah, he got drafted to the Jets, but it didn't change the fact that he was a quality person. And it showed throughout that organization. He's someone, I don't know if they retire numbers or if they just do a ring of honor. If he's not in it, I imagine he will be going in it pretty quickly. He was first team All-Pro in 2009 and 2010, second team All-Pro in 2011. And then he was on the Pro Bowl from 08 to 11 and 13 to 15. His 7 Pro Bowl selections are only one shy of the franchise record, which is held by tackle Winston Hill, who is a Pro Football Hall of Famer, also in the Jets Ring of Honor. Mangold, okay, I'm seeing here. Mangold is already in the Jets Ring of Honor. He was added to the Ring of Honor in 2022 alongside Darrelle Revis and a few others. So definitely the sports world is mourning the loss of Nick Mangold. That was taken too quickly, and that's just a sad story. But
yeah, what exactly happened though?
It was kidney disease complications.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, well, sorry to the Jets organization, but hey, at least they won one for the skipper there, huh?
Yep, they got and what a win it was. Absolutely no one was expecting that win, but let me pull up the stats.
Crazy game too, yeah. Against Cincinnati, right? And
in Cincinnati, so they were on the road. This honestly was the game of the week, definitely the most competitive and the closest game. Only a 1-point loss for the Bengals. The Jets win this one 39-38. And after the first quarter it was 10-0 Bengals. At the half it was 24-13. And then it looked like they were pulling away. And then the Jets, I guess they got a little jealous of what the Giants did in the fourth quarter a little while back. And so they didn't quite put up 33, but they went ahead and put up 23 in the fourth quarter to pull out the upset victory and really put a wrench in the Bengals' plans of trying to. The Bengals can't really afford to lose more than 1, maybe 2 games the rest of the way if they want to make the playoffs. And Aaron Glenn now has his first win, and it's a quality win, something to really build on. That's a team win. They could have packed it up and gone home at halftime. They didn't. And all this after Justin Fields got absolutely roasted by the owner of the Jets during the week, pretty much saying that anyone with a QBR rating as terrible as Justin Fields would also be having a hard time winning. Granted, Justin Fields QBR, he hasn't had a good year, but he's not even in like the bottom 5 in QBR. So Woody Johnson just throwing shade to throw shade at the guy he helped choose to bring in and spend money on. But Fields went 21 for 32, wasn't supposed to start, but Tyrod Taylor. One of the things with Tyrod Taylor throughout his history is he is snake bit when it comes to injuries. And he seems like just about any time he's going to get a run, he ends up suffering some sort of injury. So he was down with an injury. So Fields came in 21 of 32, 244 yards with a touchdown. That's pretty good right there. As a team as a whole, though, really leaned on Breece Hall, who's going to make a lot of money this offseason, that's for sure. He had 18 carries, 133 yards. That's a 7.4 clip and 2 touchdowns. All of that was really good. And then receiving-wise, the ball got spread around a lot, which was impressive because the Jets are without Garrett Wilson. He's been out injured the past couple weeks. And it didn't seem to matter that Fields kept finding the open person and it worked out well. On defense, they did just enough to survive and get the win, just enough to survive and get that win. So the Jets went ahead. They've got one win. They're in a spot where they're certainly not making the playoffs, but Aaron Glenn, he's building a locker room. He's building a culture. He saw firsthand. He was part firsthand in turning the Detroit Lions into a winner. So he certainly has a good chance to do it here with the Jets. And another thing about Justin Fields, I'm not back on his bandwagon. That's not going to happen. But his post-game interview, I actually really appreciated what he talked about. He even definitely 10 or more years ago, this never would have been even said. He would have also been like lambasted in the press for talking about it. But he said straight up, he goes, you know what? This was an emotional week. I'm going to let you all in on it. And I'm going to be a little bit emotional. And he, with everything that's been going on, with the words that have been said to him and about him, he said at one point during the week, he was in his closet, like on the floor, just crying. Clearly he's dealing with a lot, and he was able to kind of put it all together, take what's happening, and go out there and show what he's made of. So kudos to him for doing that. Also, I got to say kudos for him to actually go ahead and talk about that stuff publicly. That's a lot of criticism, and especially in this day and age where it's so easy for anyone to hide behind a computer screen or a phone and say some pretty hateful things. It's good to see someone humanizing on the other end what can happen. Granted, this Woody Johnson did not hide behind a computer screen. He talked into a reporter's microphone, but that's even worse. So just showing there is some humanization there. And then the fact that he still stepped up, and I think he deserves to be the starter until he puts up another stinker.
Yeah, he definitely deserves to be a starter after a big game like that. And Justin Fields, the only thing about him is he's just got to get comfortable in his own skin, because he's got a lot of talent. He could throw the ball just fine. He could run. I mean, he's very athletic, probably the most athletic quarterback out there. And I don't know, he just has to trust his instincts and just attack the game. And I think if he does that, he's going to be good to go. And, a lot of the Justin Fields problems I have also with the offensive coordinator as well. But granted, I haven't been the nicest to Justin Fields, and I'm glad he turned it around, because I like the kid. He's a good guy. Just, call him like I see him when it comes to quarterbacks.
Oh, for sure. Like I said, preseason, I was confident because of how good he was in college, and, how bad of a coaching setup he had with Eberflus over in Chicago. And then,
right.
Went over to Pittsburgh. He showed he could do something with some actual weapons, and then still got pulled for Russell Wilson. And I think had they not done that, I think the Steelers would have made some noise into the playoffs last year. And then so he chose to take his talents to New Jersey, reunite with Garrett Wilson, a good friend, his former top receiver. So everything was lining up. He's got a good running back. He's got a good receiver. Maybe he just needs a little bit of time. But for now, I was too excited too soon. Let's see him build and grow on it. And I mean, we've seen there's plenty of quarterbacks. You just got to give them a little bit of time. Not everyone's perfect right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It takes Jalen Hurts as a good example. Took him a little time, and now he's a pretty good quarterback. So same with Justin Fields. I hope he improves for sure. I kind of want him out of the Jets, though, into a better organization, but especially with an owner that doesn't really respect him that much,
Oh, yeah. I got to imagine whatever happens at the end of the season, Justin Fields is going to say, I want out.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, big win for the Jets. And then I guess it's my turn with the NFC East. You want me to go back? Knock one out. Let's do two at a time here. I'm gonna do the Philadelphia Eagles against the Commanders, and the Philadelphia Eagles laid it on them. I'm sorry, Philadelphia Eagles versus the Giants.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, the Giants. I'm getting them all mixed up, but yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles ended up winning a big one, 38-20. Jalen Hurts looked really good. 15 for 20. That's really high completion percentage. Didn't have to throw it too much. They went back to the bread and butter, running the football, not having to rely on Jalen Hurts. And that offense answered. And he did exactly what he was supposed to do. 179 yards, 4 touchdowns. Let's see if Devontae Smith and let's see if Devontae Smith was overall happy. I don't see A.J. Brown. Did he not? He caught a ball. Was he out? He might have
No,
been out.
Brown played.
Why don't I
Brown
see him?
played.
Yeah, well, Devontae Smith got 6 receptions for 84 yards. Goddard did really good job getting 23 yards, 2 touchdowns, becoming his bread and butter over there. And they looked really good. But the big key to this on both sides of the ball is the running game. One, because someone came back and came to life finally, and that's Saquon Barkley, who ended up getting 150 yards, 1 touchdown, 12 carries. He looked phenomenal out there. He would look back to vintage Saquon Barkley, which is kind of weird. He had a couple bad games in a row, and now he's they started feeding him the rock more, and he's doing exactly what he should. Averaged 12.5 yards a carry. Great game for him, and not too shocking. Saquon Barkley, a really good player. The downside, though, is on the Giants side of the running the game. Scadaboo only got 1 yard. I'm sorry, he only got Scadaboo hardly played in the game and then ended up with a pretty big injury over there. Dislocated his ankle out there and should be out for the season as a result. A lot of people predicted injuries for Scadaboo, but I don't think anyone was calling injury. The ankle being one of the injuries that everyone was predicting his head.
Yeah.
And turns out.
Yeah, AJ Brown was out hurt. Okay, so there we go. He had a hamstring issue. Sorry, I just pulled that up. But yeah, Scadaboo, it was a pretty gruesome injury. It reminded a lot of people of what happened to Tua a few years back when he went down real bad. He is going to be out for the year. He's already had surgery. So he's done for the year, which is too bad because him and Dart had some good things going. Honestly, I think unless something like unless the team starts playing for him, I think Daboll has bought himself another year because of this young core.
What? I think the Scadaboo missing out is going to be a big problem for him because Jackson Dart did pretty good. I mean, he got 193 yards, 1 touchdown. He did okay, but with that run game is very, very important. And Tracy Jr. is a serviceable running back, but he ain't no Scadaboo. Scadaboo, it's not shocking. I've been saying it for a while. He's going to have a short career. I'm going to go ahead and call that. It's not going to be a long one. I've been agreeing
the whole way on that one.
But those years he's going to be there, he's going to be an amazing player. He's a great running back, and I think he was the heart of that team. And with him being gone, I mean, all the pressures now on Jackson Dart and Neighbors to get this back up in gear and start winning. We'll see if Jackson Dart could do it, see if they could get themselves out of a big loss like this, but back-to-back big losses too. They lost the comeback to Denver. But if they do not do that, if they do not succeed, I'm still in the mindset that you're going to move on from Daboll anyway. I still don't like him as an offensive play caller. I think he had enough talent to get away with it, but he's way too generic, a little too boring, and I think it would hurt Jackson Dart's career. The reason why they're improving and playing so well, in my opinion, is just because Jackson Dart plays backyard football and can move around in the pocket and get away with it because he's good at it. But I would really like him with the better offensive coordinator, in my opinion. I still think Daboll's a struggle. He might be able to get away with it just because Jackson Dart gets him out of the jams. But if I'm the Giants, I'd still move on from him. I know that's kind of controversial with their resurgence, but I'm still on that side.
As in not taking your Cowboys fandom into effect, is there anyone that you would want to see come in and take over?
I like McDaniel. I think if he gets fired from Miami, you send him straight over to New York Giants. in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it would be a really good setup just because he would help out a guy like Jackson Dart. And I think McDaniel getting away from Tua and going to a guy like Jackson Dart, I think he would fall in love immediately. I still think McDaniel's a good coach. I think he's just losing the locker room in Miami.
You know, people have been saying he's losing the locker room. People are saying that there's all that, but the Dolphins have been playing hard all the way through, and they just like literally last week it was a Tua issue. Tua just couldn't stop throwing picks. This week, all of a sudden, they're in Atlanta up against the Jekyll and Hyde Falcons, and they went out and they dominated. They led bell to bell. Tua put up a very non-Tua like number of 20 for 26, 205 yards, 4 touchdowns, and the non-Tua thing, 0 interceptions. So that was pretty impressive. They spread the run game around. A-Chain had 18 for 67. Ollie Gordon had his first actual impacts as a Miami Dolphin, 10 for 46. Both A-Chain and Gordon got a receiving touchdown. And then so as did Jalen Waddle and Malik Washington. So, I mean, they haven't stopped playing for Mike McDaniel. So that's why I think maybe we're going to go ahead and see him stick around. But also I could see him saying, actually, you know what? I want out at the end of the season, especially if he has to continue to be saddled with Tua. Tua seems like he's just a locker room cancer. He reminds me a lot of Denver Broncos Russell Wilson. Just
I was
completely aloof and having no idea that actually what he is doing is affecting the team negatively, and just kind of being a dumbass. I don't think the Dolphins should have paid him. Just in the same way, I think the Jaguars never should have paid Trevor Lawrence that money. It's just teams are afraid to lose a guy, and they're just throwing way too much money at him, and so they're either going to have to do what Denver did with Wilson, or they're going to be stuck with Tua for at least one more year. And that might be enough for McDaniels to be like, is there anywhere else that I can go that's not here?
Yeah, and I think the Dolphins and the Jaguars are in the same position that the Cleveland Browns were in, and who decided not to pay Baker Mayfield. And looking back, hindsight being 2020, they should have paid Baker Mayfield that much. It would have been okay because he's cooking on his end. So I think
the
they
Cleveland
did not
excuse
want to
for
go
that was that Baker's numbers and accuracy went down. He was playing with like a busted shoulder, and he was playing really hard for them, doing the best he could. That's why his stats were down.
And
there's a reason why no one that made those decisions for Baker is still running a front office in Cleveland.
But to be fair to Miami and the Jaguars, I think it's just the quarterback market in general is way too high. But you got Tua. He was playing really well at that time, especially with McDaniel. So you just want to keep what you got and keep working on it. But he's imploding, and I think we're saying all this. He had a good game, so maybe
he had one
good
game.
Around.
I think a sneaky contender for a team that's going to have a new coach next year is the Atlanta Falcons, because this is a team, they should be 6-2 or 7-1. They have what should be the best offense in the NFL. They might be just like how it turns out the Colts were just a functional quarterback away. That might be the case for the Falcons. It doesn't mean Penix isn't it, but he's still a rookie. I know it's his second year, but he didn't really play much last year, so he's still a rookie. And then he's been out hurt, and Kirk Cousins, the wheels fell off on Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins' agent needs to be a first ballot Hall of Famer into the NFL Hall of Fame with the amount of money that guy has gotten for, I don't think, ever getting even into a AFC or NFC title game. So he's always been in the NFC. So never even made an NFC title game. And he's made so much money. So I think the Falcons have buyer's remorse on Raheem Morris as their head coach. I think they probably should have gone with Belichick before Belichick completely fell fell off his rocker. But that's not an option now. No one wants to hire Bill Belichick. Um, maybe Barstool Sports, but that's probably about it. So yeah, I think the Dolphins. I still think if I'm the Dolphins, you know, you're going to lose a few more games. You're not making the playoffs. I think it would, like I've said, I still think it'd be smart to maybe don't unload everyone. You talked me off of that last week, but try to get a first or second round pick for A-Chain, send him to a contender, and then that can really help plug up some key holes, whether that's giving you ammunition to go out and find a new quarterback. Not that I would take any of this current crop in the first round next year, or maybe it's to start to really plug up that line, offensive or defensive, and really set this table to really jump right back into it.
Yeah, and I would say just get a new coach, just because I don't know, it's time. But nothing on McDaniels. Although,
there comes a time with every coach that they've, just because of the length of time they've been there, that they'll start to lose the locker room, and that happens. There's a time limit on every coach. So yeah, I think McDaniels to the New York Jets, I think would be pretty good. McDaniels to the Atlanta Falcons, I think would make them a potential Final Four team, making it right close to the Super Bowl just that quick. So there's some options there. Since you've already covered 3 of your teams, I'm going to go ahead and we'll talk briefly about the Bills. So the Bills dominating victory, 40-9. The Carolina Panthers, they're an exciting team. They're a splashy team. They're growing, but Bryce Young's been hurt, and then having the AFC East on your schedule this year means you got the Patriots, who are, of course, as we all knew, Super Bowl contenders, obviously, right? And then the Buffalo Bills. Plus, you're going to have not easy out games against the Dolphins and the Jets, so that's not going to help them. But Buffalo just absolutely dominated. They throttled. This was their get right game, coming off the bye week after a couple of losses. All's right with them. I do still think the Buffalo Bills are going to ultimately win the AFC East. The Pats are going to stumble a little bit here or there. They're building, they're growing, they're doing great, but they are still young. The Pats are definitely making the playoffs, but winning the East, I think, would be surprising. Josh Allen didn't have to do a ton. 12 of 19, 163 yards with a touchdown, no picks. James Cook did all of the heavy lifting in this game. 19 carries for 216 yards. That is an 11.4 yards a carry clip. That's like when a D1 team like a Texas or Alabama plays like a Middle Tennessee State kind of thing. Like, oh my goodness, that's ridiculous. And then the receivers, Shakir was the lead receiver, 6 for 88 and a touchdown. Keon Coleman had 3 for 30, and then several other receivers were able to pull one in. But this is one of those where it quickly turned into, especially once the third quarter was done, it was, all right, we're just going to get out of this one healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, that's where the Bills are at. The one bad news, because the Bills just seem to not be able to shake the injury bug, and this could be something that ultimately does swing the AFC East. Ed Oliver out for the season with a pec injury. He is sorry, not a pec. He is a torn biceps. He is done for the season with that torn biceps. So that's not good. Right now, they're just saying he's going to miss multiple months. Pretty much, they're like, if they can make the AFC title game, he might be back for that.
Yeah, torn biceps, you're not coming back from that anytime soon. And that's a big loss. Ed Oliver, good player too. So it's going to be really upsetting for the Bills, but I think they've got enough firepower. They'll be okay, right?
Yeah, they're still a playoff team, but that's a big that is a big loss that might lead to a couple of tight games swinging the wrong direction for them down the line, opening up the door for a team like either the Colts or probably the Kansas City Chiefs to go in and take the 1 seed.
Speaking of Kansas City Chiefs, they played. Oh wait, are you good on the Bills? Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good on the Bills.
Perfect transition till I screwed it up. Yeah, we got the Kansas City Chiefs coming in and playing against the Washington Commanders. And by the way, the Chiefs won 28-7. We got ourselves another blowout there.
There was a football game last night.
Yeah, there was a football game last night. You probably turned it off pretty quickly. It was not the most exciting for sure.
Oh, I didn't have it on at all. I watched all 18 innings of an all-time thrilling World Series, and then had a lot of coffee today.
Yeah, that was a big win for the Dodgers there too, right? They came back to win it. But I was focusing on this game mainly because I had, the Commanders were on, so I was just doing my due diligence, following my teams that I have to for the NFC East, and Commanders did not look too good. Like I said, the Chiefs ended up winning 28-7. The Chiefs, this is about the Commanders, but the Chiefs offense looks like it's back with Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown coming back, and then Juju Smith-Schuster's looking good. And then you got Kelsey out there. It's kind of back to what it was before. I mean, Patrick Mahomes got whatever he wanted out there, 24 for 35, 299 touchdowns, although weird. 299 yards, 3 touchdowns.
We knew what you meant.
And then 2 interceptions, though, for Patrick Mahomes. Marcus Mariota had to fill in for Jaden Daniels, who has a low-grade hamstring pulled, and it looks like he could be coming back next week or the week after that. I don't know when, but the Commanders they're wanting him back. They're wanting him back really, really shortly because they just need to spark on this team. Right now, they're 3-5, not looking too good, and they've got to turn it around and turn around quickly because they're running out of time halfway through the season. Mariota filled in, though, did all right. He was 19 for 28, 213 yards, 1 touchdown, unfortunately 2 interceptions. And watching that game, I got to tell you, Marcus Mariota drives me nuts because he's got accuracy. He's a really talented quarterback. He's got good pocket presence. He's got all the tangibles. He's fast. He's got all the tangibles to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I knew that when he was drafted. It's just weird decision making. I mean, the man knows touch passes. He knows he launches it way down the field as well. He can throw a 20-yard accurate pass, which middle of the field, which is my most important route that I want for my NFL quarterback. And he could do all those. And he's really good, but somehow he just makes bad decisions and throws 2 picks. And I don't know. I guess he's in his own head because I think he's got a lot of potential to be a starter. I know we're running out of time on him, but man, he drives me nuts because I see the talent and I go, yeah, that's the Mariota I know. And then he doesn't do much over there. Here's a weird one. Kareem Hunt, though, for Kansas City came back, 14 carries, 68 yards, 2 touchdowns over there, and outran Pacheco, who had 12 carries for 52 yards, no touchdowns, and Rashee Rice did what he was supposed to do, 9 receptions, 93 yards, 1 touchdown. Xavier Worthy, I forgot about him. Should have mentioned him earlier. He's back, and 5 receptions, 72 yards, 1 touchdown. Your Texas alum right there, Rob.
Welcome.
And, right, Terry McLaurin, he only got 3 catches, but all 3 were just freaking amazing. He's such a talented wide receiver. 54 yards, 1 touchdown, and a heck of a touchdown at that. But, offense did what they were supposed to do. On the Kansas City side, they were getting whatever they want. I think Washington Commanders are going through the Dan Quinn year 2 phase, and this is kind of what happens. Usually sparks the defense. They get all motivated for him, and then year 2, something changes, and they're not able to do as much as they did on year 1.
I mean,
Commanders
I was going to say, that being said, it's Jaden Daniels' 2nd year in the league. He's had some injuries, and I think everyone can agree they way overperformed last year. They punched way above their weight, making it all the way to the NFC Championship game. I've been saying most of this year, I said it back a few weeks ago when we talked about who we had in the playoffs through the quarter poll, and I said that not the Commanders. And I think they're still set up for long-term success. I think they're just one of those one step forward, two step back kind of thing.
Yeah, and maybe it's just a little setback year, but they could still turn it around. I mean, if Jaden Daniels gets back from the hamstring injury, I love Jaden Daniels. He's my favorite quarterback of the NFC East. Just on the play, I know he's not having a great year, but when he's back and healthy and playing well, I think he's the scariest quarterback to play against, in my opinion. And 3-5, you can come back from it. I mean, the Cowboys did it 1 year in 2018 where they came back from 3-5, picked up Amari Cooper, were able to make it to the playoffs. I think the Commanders, they're probably a trade away to get this thing back up and running, something to spark the team. And if they pull off something significant on the trading block, I wouldn't be shocked if they get it back up and going. I don't think they're going to win the division. I think they're running out of time for that. But I wouldn't be shocked if they made it to the playoffs and even made a run.
Yeah, I mean, the NFC is still wide open. There's really not any, you'd say probably the Eagles, but but there's not like a set team that they're just going to bowl everyone over. There's a lot of teams that can do a lot of things. The Seahawks, the Rams. If the Niners could somehow get healthy, there's plenty of room to get through. I think that the NFC is going to see a 9-8 or maybe an 8-1 team sneak into the playoffs.
God only for an 8-1 team. That would be really nice. I think only one's going to pull that off. But Commanders.
And we're back.
Okay. Yeah, and I think the Commanders, like you said, I think they turn around, just sneak into the playoffs like that, and I'd watch out for them. But that's it on the NFC East block, and that's it, Rob. I guess there's nothing else to talk about, right? Nothing going on.
There's one more team, those wonderful New England Patriots. And if you haven't said it today, Patriots fans, go ahead and say it with me. Thank you, Amy Adams Strunk, for firing Mike Vrabel, letting him wander the wilderness for a year in Cleveland before he came back to us this year as our head coach. Because, wow, we got ourselves a good one. We got ourselves on the right path, and things are exciting. Speaking of that Cleveland team, Mike Vrabel's former team from last year when he was on that coaching staff, they came to town and, they started off okay. They were up 7-3, and then they didn't lose the lead until right pretty much at the gun at the half with a Borregales field goal to get the Patriots up to 9-7. They only had those 3 field goals in the first half. As you all remember from the pod last week, I was nervous about this game. I expected it to be a bit of a rock fight, not because of the amazing talent of Dylan Gabriel and the Browns offense, but Myles Garrett is a monster. He's probably the best defender in the league today, one of the probably top 10 best defenders in the league all time, who is somehow still on Cleveland, even after a couple of years ago when he said, I think it was the start of last year, he wanted to go to a winner. He wanted out of Cleveland. Cleveland says, how about $50 million guaranteed? And he's like, I love Cleveland. I'm staying. And he had a monster game that should have rattled just about any other quarterback into submission. He got 5 sacks on Drake Maye, and Drake Maye said, come on, bring it. Start hitting me with your best stuff. You haven't done that yet. Because Maye still stood there, and he was able to compile 18 of 24 for 282 yards, 3 touchdowns with 1 interception. That's a pretty good stat day when you realize that he got sacked 5 times. He got hurried even more. And he's like, yeah, what about it? He had another bomb of a touchdown throw to Kayshon Boutte. That is a real fun connection that we've all started to see grow and develop. That was a 39-yard touchdown pass. That was pretty cool. Travion Henderson, this was quite nearly his breakout game. He was 10 for 75, average of 7.5. However, if he had gone 10 for 76, he would have had a touchdown. But instead, and I had it on I had the Pats broadcast call with Scott Zolak on. I was listening to that. Literally, as they were praising how well he was doing in the fourth quarter and how he was about to salt this whole thing away, he did get hit in two directions. He fumbles the ball at the one, turnover to Cleveland. But he just said, you know what? We don't need 7. We only need 2 to ice the game. So Travion Henderson was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers, because the Patriots defense stepped right up and said, you're not going to drive back down and get into this game. They held him. They weren't letting them get anywhere. Then they harried Dylan Gabriel. He stayed in the pocket. He should have rolled out. Instead, he stayed in the pocket, got pressured, and from the end zone, he threw it into the flat where the nearest receiver was some 15-plus yards away. And the refs did one of my favorite things that they do in a game. They did this, and the Pats had 2 points and the ball. Well, almost the ball. I'll give Cleveland, unlike Dallas, Cleveland fought till the end. They did an onside free kick, and they got the ball back. But then the Patriots defense said, you're forgetting you're the Cleveland Browns, and we're the Patriots defense, and they just forced a 3-and-out. And then they iced the game from there. So Patriots played really, really well. They're doing the little things. They're winning the games that they're supposed to win. And unlike my Texas Longhorns, they're winning them by scores that they should be, 32-13. And, post Tom Brady, all the way through pretty much last year, it's been a long nearly 5 years in the wilderness, Nick. I don't know if you understand how difficult it is to not be consistently winning for 5 years.
I don't want to hear it.
But
yeah,
it wasn't just the fact that we couldn't win. We didn't have any offense at all with Cam Newton and then with Mac Jones. Offense just wasn't a thing. It seemed like, especially the last couple of years of Bill Belichick, it literally seemed like he was, and honestly, I might not be wrong here, seeing everything that's going down in North Carolina, seeing how petty he's being, where he won't even let the Tar Heels showcase Drake May stats because he's a Patriot, which is ridiculous because he's one of the best quarterbacks UNC has ever had. But I feel like once Brady left, he's like, I'll show them we can win without any offense at all. And then that was pretty terrible for a few years, just completely non-functional offense. Matt Patricia, a defensive coach as our offensive coordinator, was just like an ultimate FU to the Pats faithful. I still think Belichick needs his statue right next to Brady, though. I will always say that. But we have a functional offense. We have a functional quarterback. We have a top 10 quarterback. We have a quarterback who for this season is arguably top 5. And he's a quarterback who is at the moment in the MVP discussion. Will he win the MVP? Probably not, because someone named Mahomes is probably going to lead his Chiefs to a 13-4 or 14-3 record. And then they're going to just, hand the MVP to him again. But the fact that Maye is even in the conversation is pretty awesome. He's ahead of schedule. I just hope when we get to year 3 next year, not that I'm excited, I don't have to look ahead yet, but looking ahead, Mac Jones was pretty good for a couple of years. Then he completely fell off the tracks. So I want to see, with a second year of Josh McDaniels, don't go anywhere. You don't need to be a head coach. You're a great offensive coordinator, and the Patriots love you. Another year, let's see him take another step, and then that's going to be awesome. Then we might have players that want to come to New England because they want to play with Drake May. So
yeah,
a lot of good news there. Also good news, every single week so far, y'all have heard me talk about Marcus Jones, and he just shows up all over the stats, all over the field. He just is making plays, whether it's a kick return touchdown, whether it's a timely sack or an interception. He is just all over there. And the Pats have now rewarded him as they should have. He now has, it's not officially disclosed, but a source close told ESPN, what the terms were. He's got himself a 3-year, $36 million extension. So that makes him Patriot through the 2028 season. Another wonderful young building block. Him and Christian Gonzalez in the backfield together for years to come in that secondary. So a lot of exciting things for the Patriots. All right. That was a lot of me talking. What are your thoughts on the Pats?
Well, my big thoughts on the Pats right now is just specifically the quarterback Drake Maye. And in the beginning of the season, he was plus 6,600 on MVP odds. And Rob, you should have bought it then because now it's moved up to plus 475. So a lot of money lost here. Are you going to put some money down and get him to the MVP level? Because I think he's not
winning the MVP. I think if we keep right now, he's, I think, in the top 5 in the MVP for sure, especially with it being such a quarterback weighted award. Dak currently has played himself out of the top 5 unless something magical happens, but Mahomes is probably sitting there at number 1 in the voting right now.
You are
Jared Goff's right there. And then you've got Baker Mayfield, Danny Dimes, and then Jonathan Taylor, and then you've got yourself Drake Maye. So there's 6 names right there that are all sitting there.
I got to give you the top 3. It's Patrick Mahomes plus 125, and then you got Josh Allen at plus 350, and that's where Drake Maye is in right now. He's third place according to DraftKings, plus 475. He's your third place runner right now.
I named you 6 names. I didn't even say Josh Allen. So there's a lot of options. There's a lot of really good football being played. I expect Danny Dimes to fall back, probably just get comeback player of the year. And honestly, Jonathan Taylor will probably siphon some of his votes away, if anything. Baker Mayfield, I think everyone really the Bucs are clearly very good, but people are having a hard time believing that they're going to stay good. People just don't want to trust Baker Mayfield. So
Baker doesn't care. Keep on hating him, and that'll be his motivation to get the MVP later on.
Oh, yeah. And I think Baker would rather have a ring over an MVP any day.
Yeah, easily. But you did mention Danny Dimes. Should we move on to what's going on with the Colts?
What's going on with those Colts?
What's going on with the Colts? What's going on with the Colts? What's going on with the Colts? Is it go blue? Let's ride. Or lucky shoe? Who knows? Who knows? What's going on with the Colts?
I got to tell you, Rob, following all the NFC East teams out there, I was watching the replays of all the games, and I thought, okay, well, maybe the Colts, they had an exciting game. And what did they give me just outside the NFC East? Another blowout as they beat the Titans 38-14. Colts are just steamrolling this league. Not saying the Titans are the worthiest of opponents, but what do good teams do to bad teams, Rob?
They beat them.
They beat them by a lot, and that's exactly what the Colts did out there. Danny Dimes looked really good, 21 for 29, 272 yards, 3 touchdowns. On the flip side, by the way, Cam Ward, 22 for 38, not the best completion percentage, but he threw for 259 yards, got a touchdown, unfortunately got a pick as well. Do you think Cam Ward's turning it around, or do you think he's going to be struggling?
I think if I'm Cam Ward, and if I'm a Titans fan, I just want him to get through this season without too many scars and healthy. And then hopefully they can bring in a quality head coach to come on in. You know, that this could be another spot where a Mike McDaniels could all of a sudden be a very hot commodity. Nashville is a very up-and-coming town. People like to go there. People like to check it out. Pair that with Cam Ward, who's got skills, and there's also a very passionate fan base. The things are there to turn it around. but he'll be on his third head coach because they're not going to give the job to Mike McCoy. So he'll be on his third head coach in less than a year at some point in this offseason.
Yeah, and they probably will. And I don't know, Cam Ward, good luck. I hope you figure it out. You probably need to get out of Tennessee because I just don't even know that many good coaches. You mentioned Nashville, but just the roster itself, I just don't know if it's a good team to grab, except for Cam Ward, maybe.
They've got Tajay Spears. He's pretty good. I think he's going to pretty much start taking over for Tony Pollard coming out. And then Gunnar Helm is a solid player, a good tight end, hook him. So you've got some pieces. They definitely need some receivers, and I'm sure they need some offensive line help. But the building blocks are there. They've got, again, Tavondre Sweat, another Longhorn, a unbelievably good defensive player. So there's young building blocks on this Titans team that should entice somebody, especially when there's only 32 jobs. And I think they'll get depending on how management handles it, they should get one of the top candidates.
Yeah. I mean, it's a possibility. I don't know. I think there's some pretty good jobs that are going to open up, but if you're about getting it together and trying to fix this franchise, it's not a bad place to be. But Jonathan Taylor, though, go ahead. Did I lose you?
Yeah, there you go. Talk that way.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I was way too focused. But yeah, it wasn't just Danny Dimes that had a pretty good performance. Jonathan Taylor, shocker, runs for 153 yards, only with 12 carries. The guy's got 12.8 yards per carry. He is, man, talk about MVP talks. I mean, at least in the running back division, he's got to be number one right now. He's definitely the lead rusher, right?
Lead rusher, I'd say he's the leading candidate for Offensive Player of the Year right now, since they so heavily weight quarterback for MVP.
Yeah, for sure. And Michael Pittman Jr. doing his stuff too, though. 8 receptions, 95 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, Colts did what they were supposed to do. They beat this team. They have a really good, solid defense. I don't see anyone stopping them in the AFC South. I think they're pretty solid, looking good. I wouldn't even be shocked if they finished in the 2 seed, 3 seed. I mean, I think this team, we've been saying it now all year, but this team's legit, man. They are steamrolling and looking good.
Yeah, the one thing that hasn't been looking good, remember a few weeks back, A.D. Mitchell dropped the ball on the 1-yard line and then made a couple other boneheaded plays. He didn't even have the ball thrown at him this week. He's completely moved into the doghouse, and barring an injury, I think he's someone that'll be on a different team next season, or maybe playing in the spring.
Very well could, or maybe they just keep him in the doghouse a little bit and say, no more, and then he turns it around and gets it done. He's talented, but yeah, you can't make these boneheaded mistakes for sure.
Yeah. And, if I'm the Colts, definitely, you're going to win your division. That's for sure. You just will. You might already have enough wins. But you got to keep the pedal to the metal because you're going to want home field advantage, especially if you're going to potentially have to be playing a divisional round or even an AFC championship game against a team like the Kansas City Colts or the Kansas City Chiefs or the Buffalo Bills. You're going to want every little advantage you have. If you have to go into either of those stadiums in the dead of winter, the Colts aren't winning.
No,
they're going to need the indoors as much as possible.
Well, I mean, and I know that's shocking to say because it's an indoor team, but I mean, the Colts have a good, well-built outdoor team in the style of play, though. They rely on Jonathan Taylor to run the ball. Their defense is really solid. Those are the key pieces that you would want on a cold game. So I don't know if I'd count them out because I think they're kind of designed for it. I just don't know if Danny Dimes, and he played in New York, so right. I could see this working out even on a cold game.
Yeah, no, they are designed for it, but when you look at the fact that they play their home games at home and then their division rivalry games that they travel to are in Florida, are in Nashville, Houston, another indoor stadium. They're not going to have really any cold weather reps, and then they're to potentially then have to go in to Buffalo or Kansas City. I think that would be a big factor.
Yeah, and cold weather team or not, those are just tough places to play. One big note though on Jonathan Taylor, and I forgot to mention it, is Lenny Moore had the I'm sorry, Taylor just recently passed Lenny Moore in second in touchdowns in franchise history. I'm sorry. So any sort of touchdowns, Taylor just passed Lenny Moore after that game too with 63. So
pretty
on
good.
his way to the top. But the problem with this note is I don't know who's number one.
Not bad for a running back at the start of last year, who pretty much everyone said was washed up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, including me. I was not big on Jonathan Taylor, and then he turned it around and doing what he's doing now. So exciting things for the Colts. They're looking really good, and on to the next week. And
on to the next week, we got some picks to make.
That one too, right, Rob?
Oh, I think they just might, but I don't want to give it away quite yet. Let's make some picks.
All right, let's do it.
Making picks with Nick and Rob. Nick and Rob. That pick might be a hatchet job. Less reliable than a cone on the cob, but I love hearing picks from Nick and Rob.
All right, it's time for us to make some picks. You were correct with the Patriots. Good job. I was wrong. I'm cool with that. I'm pretty sure I took the Broncos, but I don't remember. It was a whole week ago.
You did.
So
yeah, no, you picked the Broncos and you got that one right.
Yeah, so I think we both went 2-1 last week.
You need to wear these silver and blue glasses that I see the world in, and you can make the wrong pick too. I promise.
Etzel, he just had me convinced for all the right reasons. Again, Etzel, thanks for coming on last week, recapping that amazing game against the Giants that those Broncos had, and then setting us up for a great preview for this Cowboys-Broncos game. Eagle-eared listeners would know that we said we were going to have Ryan back on this week. He had some other commitments, but we're hoping to have him back, if not next week, in the next couple weeks to talk some more in-depth Patriots analysis. But now looking ahead at these picks, the first game of the week for our three teams is going to happen at the 12 o'clock window for us in the Central Time. Atlanta Falcons, the Jekyll and Hyde team of the year, are traveling to the New England Patriots. Nick, what are you seeing with this game?
I'm seeing a really good game. I'll tell you what, these are two teams that I would be. Is Penix? I don't know too much about Penix's injury situation, though. Is he supposed to be coming back?
I'm actively looking it up right now. Let's see. He's listed as day-to-day right now with a knee. But did not practice today.
Oh, okay. That's going to be huge. Because if Kirk Cousins plays this thing, I'm going to go with New England easily. That wouldn't take me too long on that. And I don't even know if they're going to start Kirk Cousins the way he's been playing. I don't know. They're backup to the backup, but they might want to consider it because he's struggling out there. But
or just wildcat it with Bijan.
I'm going to guess the way Vegas is going with it, even though the New England Patriots at home, so they get 3 points no matter what, I'm guessing that Vegas is counting on the fact that Penix is not going to show up in the game because they're favoring the New England Patriots by 5.5 points, which is a lot against.
I'm actually seeing on ESPN bet, I'm seeing 6.5. So
okay,
I like that Vegas line even better if I'm looking at betting at things.
Yeah, and I'm just using generic Vegas line because they're just accumulating all the average of all of them,
Ex-
but I got
yeah.
5.5, 6.5. Either way, that sounds to me that they're counting. Vegas is counting on the fact that Penix is not going to be showing up, and since Penix is not going to be showing up, I'm going to go with the New England Patriots to win that game.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Patriots. I really want to take the Patriots. My head is saying, my head is going back to Star Wars and screaming, "It's a trap! It's a trap!" The Pats got through this Cleveland team, and yeah, I know that it's the Falcons. They're Jekyll and hiding everything. They're all over the place with what they're doing, but their offense is. If the quarterback's functional, their offense is unbelievable. Bijan Robinson is just absolutely dominant. The Falcons are 3-4, but still right in it. They're only 2 back in their division, still in it for everything. They got a lot going on. So this game is ripe for a hey, not everything is easy for you, New England. But I'm still going to say I've got the Pats in this one, but I'm worried. Bijan could easily rip. Bijan could easily rip off 225 and 4 scores.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, Atlanta Falcons are just a Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know what side of them you're going to get. But Bijan Robinson's a beast, so if he's too much for you guys to handle, it wouldn't be too surprising. I just think your defense should be able to bottle him up if Penix can't have a counter answer, and that's that. Without that counter, I don't think they're going to win.
And that's the thing
Atlanta.
with how good the Pats secondary has been, with Marcus Jones, with Christian Gonzalez, and then you look at the linebackers with Spillane. You look at Carlton Davis is right there, also in the secondary. They're gonna pretty much say you're only going to beat us with Bijan Robinson, and Bijan Robinson is talented enough to do it, but I think the Pats are gonna squeak this one out, something like 27-24 or something like that. It's gonna be close, and if the Pats do pull this off, they're going to be opening a lot of people's eyes. 7-2 and a threat to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, you talked about how great your secondary is. It's just filling me with jealous rage right now. So I'm going to move on now to the Colts and Steelers, Rob. The Colts.
Oh, this
Steelers.
is a good one.
Very good one. Yeah, the Colts are favored. The Colts are going to be playing at the Steelers, but no, I'm getting that wrong. Right? Colts
Hang on,
are
let me pull it up. I pivoted over to look at the Falcons record. So we've got the Colts traveling to Pittsburgh. So here's test number 1 in the outdoors.
I got the Colts favored by 3 points against the Steelers at the Steelers. That's why I didn't believe it could happen. But wow, I mean, Pittsburgh's respectable. I think I know everyone's
they are
giving up on them on the.
Aaron Rodgers is playing solid football. That offensive line is keeping him protected. He's getting the ball to DK Metcalf, and his other receivers, and the defense is like just good enough. So I've got the Steelers in this one. I'm happy to be wrong, but if I was putting money down, this would be my hey, again, another team that's 7-1, been cruising along. But if the Colts take this one, that's going to do 2 things. One, it's going to open the AFC North wide open for 3 different teams. Because Lamar Jackson's coming back on Thursday. If he stays healthy through that game and they win, they're going to be able to go on a run. And this is a division in the North. 9 or 10 wins is going to get you there. Both the Bengals and the Ravens can still get there. So the Steelers need this one more than the Colts do, and that's why I think the Steelers are going to get it.
Yeah, I would just be shocked if the Steelers lose this game. I'm just basing it off of bounce back. I mean, you just lost back to back. One terrible game against Green Bay, and Cincinnati just got you with Joe Flacco in that night game. And that was against the Packers. That was with a long rest. Now the Packers, very good team, but still to lose like that, I think Tomlin's going to get that team back up and running. He's going to get them motivated to get back up in gear and say, "Hey, enough's enough. We got to start winning these games." And I want to make the show interesting, Rob, but I'm right there with you, buddy. I just think the Steelers are going to win this game.
Yep. And one thing about that Steelers Packers game, you had two of the all-time franchises, and the NFL gives us those ridiculous uniforms on both teams. Let them wear their
Ugh.
normal colors. My goodness, that was insulting. Do they really think anyone's going to run out and spend $100 to $300 on cheap Fanatics crap for those jerseys? No.
No. And learn something from the Cowboys Broncos. The Broncos did their throwbacks to go against the Cowboys, and that was a good uniform game. You had that same chance, and I love the Steelers uniform. I like the Packers uniform. Should be a classic football match. I'm right there with you. Not the week to do your weird gimmicky stuff. Save that for when you're playing the Tennessee Titans or something, but the Packers, keep it clean.
Yeah, there's a reason why with both the Packers and the Steelers, you have to go so far back to such ridiculous looking uniforms because they found classic lines, they found classic colors, and they haven't had to change. So stop running this stuff out there just to try to get people to spend more money. Give us quality, make it look good.
Nick and Rob, Homer Hours says, enough's enough. This is we're going to get a petition. No more of that. Okay. When you play classic teams like the Bears, the Green Bay Packers, the Cowboys, anyone out there, stick to the classics. Never veer from it. Okay, guys. Because especially Pittsburgh, because it's just, I love that uniform. It's a good uniform.
Yeah.
But we got and then after that, we have to wait all the way till Monday, Rob. Monday.
Oh, good. We have the Cowboys in a national window again.
God.
They're winning this game. They're winning this game.
You think
Cardinals
so? Is that your pick?
Yeah.
You're going to go ahead and put that in?
The Cardinals suck. They do not have a quarterback that's functional right now. I think they have honestly, I really like their head coach. I really like Jonathan Gannon. I think he took a job because it was available and because Kyler Murray looked like he could be good. But if I'm Jonathan Gannon, I'm not upset if I get fired this year because there's going to be some other real good jobs open. And even if you don't get one of those, you go be a coordinator, and then you're right back in the cycle in 2 years.
Damn good coordinator, too. Very good coordinator, defensive coordinator. So he'll be fine wherever he goes.
Yeah. The Pats are going to be looking for a defensive coordinator. They will be looking for a defensive coordinator next year, most likely, because the guy that's been there was their DC. He's been out with a ton of health issues. They might just promote from within because things look good. But a team like the Pats could be looking to bring in a guy like Gannon to really tighten things up.
We're taking Gannon. I don't want to hear about your defensive coordinator struggles. We're the ones taking Gannon, okay? We're stuck here with Eberflus.
Nick, we haven't won a Super Bowl since like 2018. We're in the desert.
Cry me a river. Yeah, cry me a river. If Gannon becomes available, take him on the spot. Please, Jerry, just listen to me. Just do it.
Nick, there's New England fans that are in like kindergarten and first grade that haven't seen the Patriots win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, those poor kids. Hey, they could go through a long drought and become a stronger character like I have, okay? And that should help them in the long run.
Yeah, no, it will. There's New England fans my age and older. We went through a very long drought in all the sports. But yeah, so I've got the Cowboys. Are you taking the Cowboys?
I'll tell you one thing. I feel actually really good about this game, which makes me really nervous because usually when I feel really good, that's about when I remember feeling good about the Bears and I remember feeling good about Carolina Panthers. And the thing about this Cowboys team is this defense can just change so much if they start playing bad and our offense has a couple drives where they don't score, we're screwed, But overall, I actually think the Cowboys should win this game. They should win it by a lot because they're playing at home. Dak plays really great at home. They're playing prime time. Again, they love prime time. They seem to stand up for the occasion. They've done it against the Packers, Philadelphia Eagles, and they seem to play well during Sunday night games so far. So this Monday night game should help them out. Give me the Cowboys all day long. I think they're just going to be on a bounce back. Dak Prescott's going to be able to get his cadence in. He's going to be able to do hot routes a lot easier being in Dallas. He should smoke them. He should dominate them. And I don't like the feeling of being this confident, but I think the Cowboys are going to win this game, and don't be shocked if it's by a lot.
There you go. So the Cowboys win on a last-second Brandon Aubrey 72-yard field goal.
Oh, heck yes. I'd take that. Just for the record. I want the record.
The fact that Aubrey didn't get to even attempt something around 60 yards, and there was a couple that they reasonably could have done, and they chose to punt instead. I'm still mad about that.
Yeah, and
Not
there was
the
one that was
80-something
I think
yarder.
it was 73.
But there was a 70-yarder.
There was a 73-yarder that Dak took a sack on, and if he didn't take the sack, they would have kicked it. And they decided
I said in the broadcast
rarely take
that
sacks.
we did. I think Dak was just jealous of Aubrey's attention, and he took the sack on purpose.
I know, so frustrating. Come on, Dak. Let's let him have one. Throw it away. We don't care about. It's not about you, Dak. It's not about you. Let's move on. Go throw your 2 picks for the rest of the game. Should be an interesting week. I think so. I'm really excited about the Colts and Steelers. I think that's going to be the game to follow.
That's probably the game of the week.
Group. Yeah, I think so too. It's going to be very entertaining, and I'm rooting for the Colts, even though I'm picking the Steelers. But if you guys ever want to hear our takes or things like that, Rob, where do they find us?
Yeah, so you can find us in a few spots. If you see our faces right now, you found us on YouTube. Thank you so much. The Nick and Rob Homer Hour on YouTube. Make sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe. We're closing in on 400 subscriptions. We'd love to see ourselves get over 500 by Thanksgiving. So please, if you're enjoying this, help us out with that. Send us to a friend. Say, hey, check this out. If you like it, give them a like, give them a follow. We certainly appreciate that. We're also available on Spotify. If you prefer just to drive around and not deal with the YouTube app, you can find us on Spotify, Nick and Rob Homer Hour. Pull it up, listen to it, give us a like, give us a follow there as well. We'd love to grow our following on Spotify. And then we are at Nick and Rob Homer Hour on Instagram and on TikTok as well. So TikTok's where we have our shorts that we'll release on YouTube. We'll also release those on TikTok. So if you're on those platforms, give us a like, give us a follow, send us to your friends. We'd love to keep growing.
And shout out to Indonesia. We got a huge following out of nowhere from that. I don't know how that happened, but appreciate you guys in Indonesia. Thank you so much.
Y'all have a great week. It's going to be a good football week. Mix in some baseball while we still have it. It's an all-time classic World Series. And we'll see you next week to recap what went down.
See you guys next time.